In this podcast episode, John J. Davis shares a profoundly detailed and unique account of his death experience after being clinically dead for 7 minutes during surgery. Unlike typical near-death experiences, John's journey starts beyond the white light, giving him an extensive look at the afterlife, the orientation center, past lives, and cosmic knowledge. Throughout the conversation, John discusses the spiritual guidance he received, the profound insights about life, death, and the universe, and how he integrates this knowledge into his life and work, helping others. John recounts the origin of his death experience, a moped accident at age 21 where he severely injured his right hand, leading to a surgery that required anesthesia. During the procedure, he had a severe allergic reaction to the anesthesia, which caused his heart to stop, and he was pronounced dead for approximately 7 minutes. Surprisingly, John remained consciously aware through the sensation of the anesthesia flowing into his arm before everything went black. Upon waking, he found himself fully conscious, but in a stunningly beautiful white marble building, signaling the start of his journey on the other side. John introduces Allan, his spirit guide, who explained that the place he was in is called the Orientation Center, where souls arrive after completing their earthly lifetimes. Allan communicates rapidly, almost like a sped-up voice recording, guiding John through a vast, endless white marble hall lined with tables where orientation counselors help newly passed souls remember their lives and where they came from. John witnesses souls of all ages and appearances, changing form to a common youthful appearance of about 30 years, believed to be the original age created by God. The orientation counselor's role is crucial, easing souls from Earth back into their home environment and helping them process their transition. John observes the reunion area where souls are joyously greeted by their friends, family, and even beloved animals who have passed before them. Allan explains that coming to Earth is a formidable choice, as life here involves intense challenges and growth. Many souls resist returning because of the hardships involved. This portrayal contrasts Earth as a warrior's place, full of struggle and lessons not found on the other side. John highlights that while the other side represents home and peace, Earth is uniquely difficult and transformative. Despite being clinically dead for only 7 minutes, John's experience felt like hours. He describes the fundamental difference in time perception on the other side, a non-linear time where entire life journeys can be reviewed in moments. One remarkable feature is the Life Review building, where multiple screens simultaneously play different episodes from his life, including moments he had no prior conscious memory of. This Life Review encourages profound empathy, as the individual not only witnesses their actions, but feels the emotional impact those actions had on others, fostering deep soul growth and understanding. John describes several elaborately detailed buildings on the other side, all constructed from refined white marble or other impressive materials, resembling earthly symbols such as Greek temples or Supreme Court buildings. These structures serve specialized purposes: orientation, planning lifetimes, libraries, theaters, planetariums, and castles. The vivid detail, including vertical writings on books, gigantic domes, and vast libraries filled with books akin to encyclopedias, impressed John as they function as repositories and classrooms for soul learning and reflection. In one of the buildings, John is shown 3 of his past lifetimes via a movie-like experience. These past lives range geographically and culturally from Southeast Asia to Eastern Europe to the Middle East, underscoring the soul's eternity and reincarnational nature. Allan told John that eternal souls can have lifetimes across time and geography because certain lessons cannot be learned on the other side's perfect environment, notably the lessons from hardship, suffering, and challenges encountered on Earth or similar worlds. This spiritual school concept is integral to understanding why souls choose to incarnate repeatedly. John is taken to a vast planetarium where a knowledgeable guide presents a comparison between Earth's known solar system and the immense expanse of the universe, filled with billions of galaxies and trillions of planets. This revelation underscores 2 key points. Life exists abundantly beyond Earth, and Earth is but one of many realms where souls can incarnate and grow. The scale and diversity of life forms and planets affirm the soul's opportunity for infinite learning across the cosmos. John references the James Webb Space Telescope to emphasize that scientific discoveries increasingly support the vastness of the universe. Another setting John visits is a massive library where historical events are recorded in real time and preserved. Here, souls can watch videos of actual history, including battles between Native Americans and U.S. cavalry, or learn about figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, or even Jesus. The recording mechanism, explained by Allan, is not technological in the earthly sense, but metaphysical. Everything that happens leaves an imprint accessible to those in the afterlife. This location offers souls a chance to understand and study Earth's collective history in a direct and immersive way. John finds himself in a grand castle filled with life-sized paintings of historical royalty and personas. Each portrait has a book detailing the individual's life, creating an interactive, museum-like experience for further study. He encounters a woman named Nanina, later identified as his soulmate, who specializes in medieval European history and assists visitors in navigating this historical archive. This building offers souls the opportunity to deeply understand human history and culture, serving as another form of education and reflection on the human journey. John's journey culminates in a profound encounter with a radiant figure he recognizes as Jesus. This presence is markedly different from traditional iconic images. Instead, Jesus emanates intense light that obscures his exact features. The voice of Jesus is described as deep and authoritative, delivering a swift, non-negotiable message: you must tell them there is no death. This imperative charge marks the turning point where John is returned to life in the operating room. The core takeaway is the absolute absence of death. Rather, life is continuous, and returning home is inevitable and joyful. Upon awakening from his death state, John is met with astonishment by medical staff and immediately questions what had occurred. Learning he was clinically dead for 7 minutes profoundly shocked him. He shares that initially, he suffered a period of deep depression, struggling with the desire to return to the afterlife and reluctance to remain on Earth. Over time, he embraced his mission to share his story and alleviate fear surrounding death for others. His mother was the first to hear the story, providing him with support and encouragement. Raised Catholic, John reflects on how his experience transcended traditional religious frameworks. He perceives religion as a human invention rather than a divine dictate, and emphasizes that in the afterlife, all religions hold pieces of truth, but none possess the full picture. He describes God as an all-encompassing love, unconditional and profound, rather than a strict doctrine or anthropomorphic figure. His broader spiritual understanding promotes inclusivity and dissolution of fear around death and the divine. John discusses how beings on the other side communicate telepathically and can hear thoughts instantaneously. His spirit guide Allan never turned to look directly, but communicated rapidly and clearly. John also mentions how communication with departed loved ones often occurs through dreams rather than direct voices. He recounts his wife's dream involving an alien figure, emphasizing the power of choice in thought, hinting at advanced spiritual awareness beyond earthly realms. Despite lacking supernatural abilities, such as clairvoyance or aura reading, John was gifted with extraordinary memory retention of his experience. To validate his spiritual claims, he underwent hypnotic regression, where he accessed and viewed multiple past lives, which reinforced his conviction in reincarnation and the afterlife's reality. John has since incorporated hypnotherapy into his work to help others explore their own memories, heal, and grow spiritually. John reflects on raising his 2 adult children after his experience. He shares that one of his most important insights is understanding that his children are not his possessions, but souls from God with their unique journeys. He approaches parenting with stewardship and respect for their personal beliefs and growth. He also explains learning to live in harmony with 2 realities: the spiritual knowledge from his experience and the practical challenges of earthly life, including work, relationships, and daily responsibilities. A strong motivation in John's life has been comforting those approaching death, particularly through his hospice volunteer work. He reassures that nobody dies alone. Spirit guides or loved ones always accompany souls through transitions. He frequently receives calls from people struggling with grief or fear, about their own or loved ones passing, offering them hope and vivid descriptions of the peace and reunion that await beyond Earth. John challenges traditional notions of hell, declaring it a human fabrication rather than divine reality. He explains that all souls have free will and might take a darker path temporarily, but ultimately all will choose light and love. He ponders whether God is a singular universal creator for all life across the cosmos, or if different realms have their own expressions of divinity. This radical inclusivity questions conventional religious exclusivity and emphasizes a broader cosmic spirituality. Contrary to popular ideas of disembodied spirits, John perceives the afterlife beings as embodied with physical forms similar to earthly bodies, but with fluid age and appearance. Souls stay active and engaged, taking classes, attending music festivals, hiking, swimming, and pursuing passions without material constraints. This ongoing joyful activity underscores that existence beyond Earth is far from static or monotonous. John was introduced to the concept that every soul has a soulmate, a perfect mate existing since creation, detailed in a special book. However, he clarifies that not all souls come to Earth with their soulmate, nor is finding a soulmate essential to spiritual success. Life's purpose varies broadly, and fulfillment is not dependent on traditional milestones like marriage or children, but on personal growth, kindness, and love. The conversation touches on extraterrestrial life, advanced civilizations, and the idea that Earth's challenges make it one of the toughest places for souls to incarnate. Other planets and civilizations vary in spiritual and technological advancement. The idea that souls have eternity to explore, learn, and evolve through countless worlds presents an expansive perspective on life, growth, and cosmic purpose. John directs listeners to his website, where they can learn more about his experience, teachings, and work in hypnotherapy. Throughout his life, he has been committed to sharing the message that death is not to be feared and that love and learning continue eternally. His story also provides comfort to those facing mortality and offers insights into spiritual development and the afterlife.